Hey guys, JH, welcome to Practice Tea. A little bit of respite from the rain. Ground is still all wet and boggy. Okay, follow up. Just, this is about the windscreen wiper, Steve Stricker process, no deliberate wrist cock process. Just correction I have to make. I said in the other two videos that Steve Stricker went from the abyss to number one in the world. He didn't get to number one. I don't know why I thought that. I thought I was in America when he got to number one. I thought it was only for a week or 2 weeks, but he never did get to number one. He got to number two, but still pretty good performance from the abyss to number two, and then went on to win a lot of tournaments and a lot of money. So guys, yeah, he wasn't number one, but I mean, that's still quite an achievement, as I say, to go from the abyss to number two in the world at a time when there were some very good players around. Okay, so how do we ingrain this process and the windscreen wiper? So the windscreen wiper is basically this. This is what we're trying to get to happen as a feel. It won't end up being like that, but that's the feel. I don't want any conscious or deliberate actions of that nature in the swing, in that the club is cocking or it's stopping, interrupting its journey that way as far as I can get it to go. If I could get this club head to go over that fence there, I would. That's my intention. I want it to do that as an intention. Okay, clearly it can't do that because, as we know, we can't swing like that with any power or timing. That would make it very, very difficult because that would be too convoluted. But the intention is basically feeling that. And so how do we get that? So, okay, guys, just do some drills. Well, no, I'm not a drill person, but just do some, what I would term, ingraining. And just do this. Get the feel of this. What does that feel like? See that? That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get the feeling right throughout the golf swing that this never changes its station in the golf swing. Okay, I'm going to get some of that as I change direction. And I want to feel that right arm, or that trail arm, has that configuration about it. Okay, I won't get that, because as I go back and I start my turn, this will start to fold and collapse as it does in the backswing. But I want to feel like none of that happens. I want to feel that I actually get that look, and that it basically feels like this. The club's pointing there. As I say, Jack Kirkendall from Natural Golf made that description and that distinction about the biggest possible arc you could have and the smallest possible arc. And he said, well, just think about this. If you go here, that's the biggest possible arc you can have. That's the smallest possible arc you can have. Look at the difference where the club head is. It's 3 feet. Club's going to come from there. JB Holmes doesn't get quite there, but he has that intention. You can see that in his golf swing. He never wants to break his wrist. So in conjunction with Steve Stricker, there's two people that basically have a non-wrist break conscious thought process. So what we're trying to do is get that look. I'm going to point the club to that tree up there. That's what I want to feel. I'm not going to achieve that, but the more I can get that feeling ingrained, the more I'll get a restriction or a reduction in the cocking of the wrists going back. I want to hold that cock in my mind. The only time I want cock in my wrists is down cock, not up cock. I want a down cock. So try and get this feeling, guys. Just get a wedge or no1 or whatever, and just do what I call the windscreen wiper. Oh man, this is a crazy game. You hit a shot like that and you feel the feedback off the golf club, and you say, JH, why wouldn't you hit all your pitch shots like that? Because nothing can go wrong with it, and the contact is just super flush. The ball flight's unbelievable, and it's so simplistic. I don't have to think about how much I've cocked on the backswing, how much I'm going to uncock on the downswing, how much I'm going to load. I'm not going to do any of that. All I'm doing is just taking it back like a windscreen wiper. This is not a golf shaft with a head on it anymore. It's a windscreen wiper. And I'm just going to wipe the windshield. Okay guys, now look how much extension I get on those arms there. That's very much like Mo Norman. Now because Mo wasn't flippy in his golf swing at all, I mean he was basically here, and he just took the club back around there and it folded as a consequence. But coming down, he wanted to be like that, which is that look we get with that windscreen wiper process here that we're doing. You call it a drill if you want. I suppose it is a drill because we're trying to drill something in. But this is how you learn it, guys. Just feel that your wrists are just totally welded. There are stainless steel rods through them, and we're just going to push this back here. Wow, I mean that is just such good contact, and you would be stunned if you knew how far they went. That's carrying about 90 metres. That's 100 yards, and look, it's just an abbreviated small golf swing, but it develops power, guys, because this part is abbreviated, but the club's not here. I've still got that much more radius on this little abbreviated golf swing, so the club is travelling further. So it's generating, I've got a potential to generate more speed, because even though the swing, the hands are only to here, in a conventional swing they'd be here. So look how much I've got. I've got from here to there, extra, in radius. So that's how you can learn it. Hit a half a bucket of shots like that. But again, guys, even when you're drilling this, don't just hit them to the same place. When you're learning a new skill, always work on your alignment and your aim while you're learning that skill. Because what you'll do invariably is you'll get used to a specific feel with a new drill, and then as soon as you turn around and you've got new data coming in, it'll feel different. So orientate yourself to the difference while you're learning a new skill. Every shot I ever hit, I never hit a shot willy-nilly. Those two shots there, or three shots, had absolutely a specific intention in my mind. No question. Okay, so we've gone from that drill there that you can use as a learning feel and process. Now, we've got a 5-iron. Just hit some shots that are what I call soft rigid. You're going to feel like this, so that's going to feel, really contrived and rigid. But if you can have the extension, the amount of extension that we need in this golf swing, but do it with soft chest, soft arms, soft wrists and soft intention. Don't say I want to go, because that'll just inhibit the flow and the automatic downcock that we need to get in the golf swing. So just feel that we're going to have a lot of extension, but it's going to be soft extension, not rigid extension. All right, now we've got 5-iron. So all I'm going to try and do, guys, is this. I'm going to try and push the club there. Okay, my right arm's never going to get in that position, and my club is not going to get there. But my intention is to do just that. And I go through my process of setting up, got my right foot flat. I'm never going to move from that because that gives me that hip mobility. You'll always see me doing that. no matter what swing I adopt, I'm going to have that in there, because that's, at my age, I need that mechanism there to give me that hip, that internal rotation increase on the on my trail hip in the backswing. Okay, so I'm going through my little process, and I'm just going to extend the club up into those trees there. Okay guys, first hit of the day. There's a 5-iron. That's just absolutely rocketed out there. And I don't know what, like what your angle of attack is normally, but I'll tell you what happens with this. This shallows out your angle of attack with your irons, no question. I was hitting some shots out of some semi-rough over there yesterday afternoon, like about, half an inch long. And guys, where the club was coming into the ball, it was actually tracing a path of knocking down the grass about that far from the golf ball. So it's getting on the golf ball level very early. And I've actually hit a couple of shots where the club is actually brushing the ground back here, but still making amazing contact. I mean, it's actually that low to the ground back here that it's almost into the ground, but it's not. It's not. So it will shallow out the shots. So you'll be able to really, what I call sandpaper the shots, rasp the shots like Mo did. There'll be no, pork chop divots or anything like that. You won't get any of those. You'll get tiny little bacon strips. I don't get any. I just get, what looks like in the bottom of the frying pan where the bacon was. A little bit of residue, but I don't get any grass disturbance. So okay, we're going to try and put the club up there in the trees. I mean, that's just so good, guys. And these C200 Wilson irons, because I'm getting a lot of downcock and a lot of download, and I told you guys I'd moved into those really soft shafts in those M2 irons. Well, I love those M2 irons, but those shafts with this downcock are just too soft. They really are. And whereas these KBS Tours, and I've only got the regs in these, but like even a regular shaft, the torque factor in the regular shaft's like 2.2 degrees, and those graphite in the M2 tailors are like about 5 degrees. So these are basically just military precision radar guided. Okay guys, now I'll try and get it up. Might miss-hit this because I'm really going to try and push the club up through the clouds. Yeah, JH, you should be able to miss the ball like that every day of your life, for the rest of your life. Guys, and without any exaggeration, it's easy for me to tell you what this ball is doing, but being a former Boy Scout, as I've told you on many occasions, and being a George Washington fan, I cannot tell a lie. Well, I can, like every human, but I don't with regard to these shots. These are just, there's no movement on these guys. The ball doesn't move, like there's none. It is just a ballistically straight shot. And if you think about it, if the club is basically doing that through the ball, or getting there, okay, we always, if you look at me in slow-mo, I'll have the rotation over here like everybody has, because you can't release the golf club. The golf club has to release left of the line and follow the arc. But it doesn't feel like that. It feels like this. It feels very much like I had when I first met Mo Norman back in 1990, and when I started the Mo Norman teaching school in Australia. Okay, so I'm going to try and put the club up through the sky. Now they're all landing in exactly the same place. I mean, I'm aiming, 5 yards left, 5 yards right, that type of thing, but they're all going exactly where I'm aiming them. And if you can hear the contact, it's just nothing but ball. It's all ball. Now I've no idea where I'm getting the club, but I'll try and do a really good job on this. So how much extension I'm getting. That's the best 5-iron I've ever hit in the JH practice tee. Ever. I know you've heard that before, but that's the best one. That's the best one. Now have a look at my downcock. When I get here, it's this, and you'll see the shaft is got a fair bit of radial bend in it. But I don't jam it in here, guys, and hold it in here. I've never done that. But I get this downcock here, this initial bit, which bends the shaft, loads the shaft, and then I let it go. I never want to hold the golf club. I never want to hold the load into the golf club, ever. I just never want to do that. And that gets you wide to wide. You don't want to get out here really wide and then just pull that downcock and then narrow it up. I want to just load the shaft and then get it going. You'll always be narrow on the downswing, but I want it to be wider than when you jam it in here like this. Okay, see if I can get the hands up in the air. Oh, wow. Now if I can just increase the length of my backswing like I had a week ago, but guys, I've been doing a lot of different workouts lately in my senility stage of life. As I say, as I get older I get sillier, and I'm doing exercises I shouldn't be doing, but give me a challenge, and even though it's not good for my body, I do it. So I've lost a little bit of flexibility. I've built up a huge amount of strength in my lats and rhomboids and all that sort of stuff. It's not that good for your golf swing unless you've got the flexibility to go with it, but I'll build that back up. Now I hope this is basically front on. I had a comment on my channel from a lady or a girl, and she said, JH, can you show us more front on? And I'm terrible, guys, and I apologise for my lack of being able to get front onto the camera. It's like I've got an achromatic ocular aberration factor when I look at the camera. It always looks like it's in the wrong place. It's called parallax error, although you shouldn't have parallax error here. But that's my excuse. So I'm trying to be a little bit square on today. So for that young lady or girl or mamselle, this is about as close on as you'll see JH get. Okay, so I'm going to push that club up through that tree. Now, I don't know what it looks like, guys. I don't know what it looks like, but it feels like it's going there. And this is 2 days into the change. Okay, JH, so what is this going to do going forward? Is this going to be a theme? Well, I think it is. You know why? I think it's going to be a theme that's going to have longevity, because I just think it's a great way to swing the golf club. It's probably the best way that I've found to date to increase your power and your accuracy. And there's really not a lot going on in this golf swing. I mean, it's really just for want of better terminology, it's just a square-to-square type golf swing. But a square-to-square type golf swing has got the conventional wrist cock. This has got none. Okay, so if I can really push it up there and get a nice shoulder turn. Oh, guys, I just wish you could see the ball flight. And I've just got no flight scopes or anything like that, because I really don't like numbers. I know, I can tell you. I mean, I've been on plenty of TrackMan, and I promise you guys, without sounding big-headed, you get me with a driver or something like that, or even with irons, I'll tell you almost what the numbers are within a very, very small variation. I mean, I know I've only got to see my ball fly and feel it. I know what my numbers are. And that's why I'm no good to a fitter that puts on a machine, because he'll give me a theoretical set of parameters, and they don't fit me. I know I've got the right spec when I've got the right ball flight. So guys, watch this. So we're just going to try and put that club up there. Go through the process. Now guys, somebody asked me on the forum, do I feel totally extended. Well, yeah, but that's because I have this pressure point on my chest. Yeah, so, and as I say to you guys all the time, once I take my grip, nothing changes. I mean, I never move my hands forward or back, up or down, in or out. Where they are is where they are, and that's where they are. And I just like to have full extension on my arms as much as I can, so that the slack is out of them. I don't want my arms in here, you know, with a bit of slack in it, because I know that's going to be taken out on the downswing, and it's going to affect my radius. So I try and eliminate that by having everything extended with a full radius lock. First time I ever heard that terminology was Mac O'Grady, 86 or 85. He talked about radius lock in that famous video he did in his backyard in Palm Springs. Oh boy, was that a golf swing. That was a talent that should have just done amazing things. But yeah, you've got to have more than a golf swing. Okay, here we go. There it is, guys. That's lightning in a bottle. I don't want to hit it any better than that. I don't think a robot could stand here with this golf club and hit it any better than that, based on my speed. That is full value. That's full potential of my ball strike with this golf club, with my capability. I mean, I can't hit it better than that. I don't want to hit it better than that. Well, I just don't think I ever could. That is right in the middle of the golf club, dead flush, straight. So here it is, guys. Huh? Might look a bit rigid, but I promise you, I'm soft. Just because this ground is so wet and slimy, it just lost my footing on the downswing there. Just dropped into the ball a little bit. Nothing to do with the golf swing. And guys, you've heard me say it before, and you would probably say, well, J.S., why don't you wear your spikes? Because guys, I like to practice without my spikes, because it really improves my balance. I've got to really have great stability and have feet going, and not just rely on spikes to counteract, you know, faulty mechanism. And it's only if you can see this here, it's just really, really wet. But I mean, it still went dead straight and within 5 yards of the other one. All right, now I'll really try to really extend that backswing. I mean, I haven't got the extension on it that I want, and that's why it's a little quick and a little jerky. But I mean, they're just so good, the shots. Okay, I'm really going to try and extend this one. I haven't tried to take it back this far. Now the elementary thing I should be doing here if I want to take it back further is I've got to take it back slower. And the more time you've got, the further you can go. Okay. Now there's a lot of torque and a lot of tension, which creates the desire and the want to come down very, very quickly. Yeah, I can't hit that way, guys. I just hit it down to the sheds. I'm about 170 out from those sheds down there, and the teeing bays, and just fly this 5-iron straight into it or over it. Okay, one more this way. Then I'll turn the camera around and we'll hit some down there. So watch this, guys. I'm just trying to put the club up in the trees. One more, Jay. Try and really extend that. Put it up in the trees. You haven't put it in the trees once today. There. Okay, guys, we'll just break, and I'll come back and we'll talk about some more drills and maybe how you can learn it with the shorter clubs.